Hello there, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Let's tap into the energy around your connection and the person you're focused on and see what Spirit wants to reveal today. As always, keep what resonates with your heart and release anything that isn't meant for you. All right, Cancer, let's get into your reading. All right, the energy coming through today is this, and it hit the table with undeniable urgency. The cards buzz with anticipation, and what they point toward is something you did not expect. I do not want to ruin the surprise, but this person is about to make a serious move. That is the message, and it did not tiptoe in quietly. It arrived with weight and intention. This is not speculation or a maybe. The cards are practically vibrating with certainty about this. Something has shifted behind the scenes, and the person tied to your energy has crossed a threshold. They've reached the point where holding back is no longer an option, not for their pride. The decision has been made on their end, and now it is only a matter of timing. You may sense it in the air lately, a thickness and a charge that was not there before. That charge is real, and it is coming directly from the intention locked firmly onto your name. They are not casually considering this. They have weighed it and measured it and committed fully. The surprise element matters here because this person wants the impact to land exactly as they envision. So the first card I have for you is the Page of Cups, and it opens this beautifully. Page of Cups confirms an unexpected emotional offering heading your way, wrapped in deep vulnerability. This card carries the energy of a message arriving out of nowhere, one that catches you off guard. The page does not announce itself loudly. It slips through the door quietly and changes everything inside. What this person is preparing to offer you is tender. It is raw and it is deeply personal. They have crafted this moment carefully, rehearsing how to present what sits inside their chest. Page of Cups also tells me there is an innocence to their approach, a nervousness that feels genuine. They approach with open palms and trembling hands, not with arrogance or entitlement, but with humility. The vulnerability behind this move is what makes it significant because it costs them everything to attempt. Yet they choose to do it anyway because staying silent has become more painful than the risk itself. The next card arriving is the Three of Wands, and it confirms this move has been planned carefully. Three of Wands says this person has been scanning the horizon, standing at the edge, waiting patiently. They have not rushed this. They have been calculating the distance between their position and where you stand. Every detail of their approach has been considered from the words they use to the moment chosen. The Three of Wands is a card of foresight, and this person sees a future with you centered. They are not acting blindly. They move forward because they already see what could exist between you. That vision is what propels them, and it is so vivid in their mind it feels inevitable. Three of Wands confirms expansion, and what expands next between you both is the entire scope of possibility. Then we have the Magician, and this card adds focused willpower to everything unfolding around you. Now, the Magician says this person possesses the tools, the confidence, and the clarity to execute their intention. This is not a person who fumbles or second guesses. The Magician energy is precise and resourceful. They know what they bring to the table, and they are prepared to lay it down for you. The Magician confirms that the stars are aligning around this situation, and the timing is almost perfect. When the Magician appears, it signals that manifestation is active and what they want is materializing rapidly. Vulnerability from the Page, strategy from the Three, and raw power from the Magician, all converging at once. That trio does not appear casually. It surfaces only when a defining moment is about to land. The surprise they are holding is not small. It is the kind that rearranges your entire perspective. They want to arrive in your life in a way you cannot ignore, dismiss, or explain away. Everything about this approach is designed to reach your core, not merely your surface attention. They bring their full self to this moment, stripped of pretense, armed with raw, honest intention. The cards could not be more aligned. A serious move is forming, and it is aimed at you. So let us go into it and talk about where you stand in the middle of all this. Because while something massive builds around you, your own internal landscape tells its own complicated story. You have been feeling restless lately, like something is approaching, but you cannot quite name it yet. There is an anticipation humming beneath your skin, and it keeps you awake more than you admit. Part of you already senses what is coming. Your intuition picked up on it before your mind could. As a water sign ruled by the moon, that intuitive radar runs deeper in you than most could ever grasp. But instead of trusting that instinct, you have been arguing with it, questioning whether it is real. You catch yourself daydreaming more than usual, drifting into scenarios you are almost embarrassed to entertain. Your guard is up, but your imagination keeps slipping past it, painting pictures you desperately want to believe. The conflict inside you is exhausting because one half craves the surprise and the other half fears it. You want to be chosen. You want to be pursued, but the thought of it happening paralyzes you. You have spent so long expecting disappointment that genuine possibility almost feels like a threat to your system. So the first card for you is the Seven of Cups, and it mirrors your internal fog perfectly. Seven of Cups confirms that your mind has been flooded with options, fantasies, and competing emotional narratives. You are standing in front of multiple possibilities, and each one pulls you in a different direction entirely. Some of those visions are rooted in hope, and others are manufactured by anxiety pretending to protect you. The Seven of Cups asks you to separate illusion from intuition because only one of them serves you. Your fear is creating false scenarios right alongside your hope, and it has become difficult to distinguish between. What this card reveals is that you already sense the truth, but you keep burying it under doubt. You know something significant is approaching. Your body reacts to it before your logic can intervene or suppress. Seven of Cups does not appear to confuse you further. It appears so you can finally choose clarity. The clarity you need is not more information. It is the courage to trust what you already feel. The next card here is the Empress, and she arrives to remind you of your own immense worth. The Empress confirms that you radiate something magnetic right now, whether you recognize it in yourself or not. You have been so focused on what might happen that you forgot to notice how powerfully you attract. The Empress energy surrounding you is abundant, nurturing, and deeply tender, and others can feel it clearly. You carry a warmth that draws people into your orbit without effort, and it has intensified recently. The Empress does not appear for those who lack presence. She appears for those overflowing with quiet magnetism. What you may not realize is that your energy has been calling this moment toward you all along. You did not just stumble into this situation. Your frequency summoned it, whether consciously or not. The Empress asks you to stop shrinking, stop minimizing yourself, and stand fully in the power you carry. The final card is the Knight of Swords, and it reveals how fast your thoughts truly race. Knight of Swords confirms that your mind races faster than your emotions can process, creating internal turbulence. You analyze everything at lightning speed, constructing outcomes before a single event has even taken place yet. That mental velocity is both your gift and your obstacle because it builds walls before doors even open. The Knight of Swords challenges you to slow your thoughts down and let the moment arrive unscripted. Your job right now is not to prepare a response. It is to simply remain present and receptive. Let the overthinking dissolve. Let your defenses soften and allow yourself to be genuinely caught off guard. The Knight of Swords also reminds you that your sharpness is attractive, but your softness is what disarms. When you stop controlling the outcome, you create the exact space needed for something beautiful to land. All three cards align on one central truth. You are more ready for this than your anxiety admits. Your intuition has been whispering it. Your body has been responding to it, and your heart already knows. Now let us go deeper and look at what is truly happening inside of this person right now. Because while they appear collected on the outside, their inner world is anything but calm or settled. This person has been living in a state of controlled chaos, managing feelings that demand more than control. They wake up thinking about you and they fall asleep with your name still echoing through their skull. The longing is quiet but relentless. It follows them through meetings and meals and mundane daily routines. They have tried to compartmentalize you to store you in a safe corner of their mind and failed. You have leaked into every section of their thoughts, and they have finally stopped trying to contain it. The resistance they once held has crumbled, not loudly or dramatically, but slowly, like sand beneath steady water. What drives this person forward is not casual interest. It is a longing born from genuine emotional starvation. They have been starving for a connection that matches the depth they carry, and you are that match. Nobody in their past has triggered this level of devotion, and that realization both excites and unsettles them. They oscillate between absolute certainty and paralyzing doubt, sometimes within the span of a single heartbeat. So the first card for their side is the Five of Swords, and it exposes their internal battlefield. Five of Swords confirms that this person has been at war with themselves, fighting their own pride relentlessly. One part of them demands vulnerability, and another part screams that vulnerability will cost them everything they guard. The conflict is vicious and constant. Every urge to reach for you meets an equal urge to retreat. Five of Swords reveals that this person has been losing arguments steadily against their own heart for weeks. They keep constructing logical reasons to stay silent, and their emotions keep dismantling those reasons brick by brick. The battle is nearly over because the heart has worn down every defense the ego tried to build. What remains is a person stripped bare of excuses, standing at the edge of their own surrender. Finally, Five of Swords also tells me they have accepted a difficult truth. They cannot win against this. The next card is the Queen of Wands, and it reveals the passionate core burning beneath their composure. Queen of Wands says this person carries a fire inside, one that most people never get to witness. They are magnetic, bold, and fiercely independent. But around you, all of that armor turns to vapor. You disarm them in ways they cannot explain, and that loss of control is foreign to their nature. The Queen of Wands energy tells me this person is used to leading, used to commanding every room. But around you, they stumble over words and second-guess gestures they would normally execute flawlessly. That stumbling is significant because it proves that what they feel for you bypasses every rehearsed behavior. The Queen of Wands does not falter for trivial connections. She only softens for something that genuinely overwhelms. And you have overwhelmed this person so completely they barely recognize who they become in your presence. The final card is the Two of Pentacles, and it shows the balancing act consuming their daily life. Two of Pentacles confirms this person juggles their feelings for you against every other obligation they carry. They try to focus on responsibilities, on work and routines, but you keep tipping the scales without trying. Every attempt to restore balance fails because the weight of what they feel for you outweighs everything else. This card reveals a person who has been rearranging their entire life quietly to accommodate this feeling. Two of Pentacles confirms they have been weighing the cost of this move against the cost of silence. Silence lost that calculation because the price of never telling you has become far too steep. They have done the math, and every equation ends the same way with you as the only answer. All three cards expose the same inner truth. A person consumed and reshaped entirely by what they feel. Their composure is a performance. Their distance is a disguise. And beneath it all burns fierce devotion. Okay, let us go ahead and get into the action because this person is no longer standing still. The energy around their next move is charged, concentrated, and aimed squarely at getting through to you. They have crossed the line from contemplation into execution, and there is no pulling them back. Now, a decision has crystallized inside of them, and it carries the kind of weight that demands follow through. What happens next between you both is not gradual. It arrives with velocity and unmistakable directional force. This person has mapped out their approach, and every variable has been accounted for down to the detail. They are about to initiate contact in a way that strips all ambiguity from between you completely. The vague texts and surface conversations are finished. What replaces them is direct and purposeful communication. Expect them to reach out with a boldness you have not witnessed before, something raw and different. The tone will shift noticeably, the walls will be absent, and what they say will carry undeniable gravity. They have rehearsed this moment privately, running through every possible response you could give them in return. But despite the preparation, they plan to speak from the chest, not from a script they have memorized. So the first card is the Ace of Wands, and it ignites the entire trajectory of their movement. Ace of Wands confirms a brand new initiative launching from their side, fueled by passion and absolute clarity. This card represents a spark that cannot be contained, a burst of creative, determined energy pointed at you. The Ace of Wands does not hesitate. It strikes with precision and lights up everything it touches instantly. This person channels every ounce of courage they possess into one concentrated, decisive act aimed at you. The move they make is not tentative or half measured. It is full throttle with nothing held back. Ace of Wands energy is primal and instinctive. It bypasses the mind entirely and operates from pure desire. They are no longer filtering themselves. The version of them that approaches you next is completely unmasked. This card signals the birth of something entirely new between you, a chapter that did not exist before. Whatever they bring next will open a door that cannot be shut, and they know it fully. The next card is the Six of Wands, and it confirms that this move carries victorious, conquering energy. Six of Wands says this person approaches you confidently, like someone who already knows exactly what they carry. They are not crawling toward you with uncertainty. They march forward with head raised and shoulders squared. Six of Wands is a card of triumph, and this person treats reaching you as their greatest conquest. They have already overcome the internal battle, defeated the doubt, and what remains is pure forward momentum. This card suggests their move may not remain private. It could arrive in a visible and bold fashion. Do not be surprised if their gesture arrives publicly in a way that others can witness it clearly. Six of Wands does not operate in whispers. It announces itself. And this person wants their intention declared. They are stepping out of the shadows permanently. No more coded signals or hidden meanings behind casual words. The mask is removed. The strategy is abandoned. And what walks toward you now is stripped down honesty. Both cards combined tell a story of ignition meeting triumph, a spark that launches and lands with victory. The timing of their move is deliberate. They have chosen a moment where the impact will resonate deepest. They want this to matter. They want you to feel the weight of it in your chest instantly. Every element of their approach has been calibrated, designed to reach you and leave zero room for doubt. This is not someone testing the waters anymore. This is someone diving head first with their eyes wide open. The action is imminent. The preparation is complete. And the only thing remaining is the moment of delivery. When it arrives, you will feel the difference immediately because nothing about it will resemble what came before. This person is bringing their absolute best, their rawest truth, and laying it at your feet deliberately. Now, let us go ahead and dive into what this person buries beneath everything they show the world. Because what they confess in silence when nobody is watching paints a portrait you have never seen. This person harbors a devotion so consuming it rewrites the way they experience ordinary moments without you. They sit across from others, mentally measuring the gap between those conversations and yours. Yours always win. The confession they swallow daily is that you have become the standard nothing else can reach anymore. Every interaction that is not with you feels diluted, like a faded copy of something vivid and alive. They would never admit this out loud, but they have already built an entire future around you mentally. Not vague daydreams, but specific architecture. Mornings with your coffee order memorized. Evenings shaped around your rhythm. The way you laugh, the pauses before you speak honestly, they have cataloged these things like sacred inventory. Their hidden confession is that they do not just want your love. They want your mundane, ordinary days. They want the unglamorous Tuesday nights, the grocery lists, and kitchen silence. The parts nobody romanticizes but them. So the first card here is the Hermit, and it reveals the solitary depth of what they carry. The Hermit confirms that this person processes their feelings for you entirely alone, sharing with absolutely nobody. They have not told a single friend, a single family member, or any confidant what stirs inside. This secret belongs exclusively to them, and they guard it like something fragile that exposure would shatter. The hermit shows a person who retreats into isolation specifically to sit with what they feel for you. Late at night, behind closed doors, they allow the full weight of it to press down without resistance. In those private hours, they confess things to the silence that their waking pride would never permit. They tell the dark room trembling that they are terrified of losing you before they ever had you. The hermit also reveals that this person has sought answers internally, meditating on whether they deserve you. They question their worthiness constantly, wondering if what they offer could ever be enough for you. And yet, despite that doubt, the desire remains immovable, planted so deep that nothing can uproot it. Now, the next card is the King of Cups, and it exposes the emotional mastery hiding their volcanic interior. King of Cups confirms this person presents calm control to the world while drowning in feeling underneath. They have perfected the art of composure, but behind that polished exterior, an ocean rages without pause. The King of Cups energy tells me they have been suppressing tidal waves and calling it strength. What they secretly crave is permission to collapse into you, to stop performing control and simply exist. They want to lay their head against your chest, close their eyes, and let every wall dissolve entirely. That image haunts them. The fantasy of being held by you without needing to explain or justify anything. King of Cups also reveals that this person has cried about you privately and more than once, not from sadness, but from the sheer overwhelm of carrying this much weight with nowhere to set it. King of Cups does not weep for passing attractions. He only breaks for bonds that reshape his identity. And you have reshaped this person entirely, rewritten their emotional vocabulary, and they are still adjusting to it. They did not choose to fall for you. It happened silently, like gravity pulling without ever asking consent. Their unspoken confession is that they have already surrendered to you. Even if their mouth has not followed, the decision was made in a moment they cannot trace, somewhere between a glance and an ordinary conversation. Both cards reveal the same buried scripture: a person worshiping a connection they believe they do not deserve. Deserve it or not, they are consumed, and nothing in their known world compares to what you ignite. The confession lives in every stolen glance, every manufactured excuse to be near you, every rehearsed casual greeting. They perform normalcy around you while internally screaming words they believe would change everything if released. So let us see what the cards are showing today about the near future unfolding between you both. Because the story does not end with confession, it accelerates into something tangible and deeply transformative. The first card for the near future is the World, and it signals completion and destined arrival. The World confirms that a major cycle is closing, and what replaces it is everything you waited for. This card carries the energy of fulfillment, of pieces finally clicking into a picture that makes total sense. The world does not appear for unfinished chapters. It only arrives when the universe is sealing something permanently. In the near future, this connection reaches a defining moment that neither of you can walk away from. The pretending stops, the distance collapses, and you both stand face to face with the raw, undeniable truth. The world also tells me this outcome was written, fated, long before either of you ever realized it. You were always going to arrive at this point. Every detour and delay was part of the design. The next card is the Four of Wands, and it confirms celebration and union entering your timeline direct. Four of Wands says, what unfolds next feels like a homecoming, one that neither of you expected. This card represents stability born from an honest foundation, two people finally choosing each other without reservation. Four of Wands energy is warm, festive, and grounded, the kind that builds something truly meant to last. Together, these cards promise a near future where silence breaks, truth lands, and real connection officially begins. The waiting is almost finished, and what lives on the other side is worth every second endured. Now, the advice the cards offer you today is this: do not brace for the surprise. Welcome it. You have spent enough time bracing for the worst. The universe now asks you to expect the best. Lower every shield you have raised. Because what approaches does not come to harm, it comes to heal. Trust the timing even when it feels fast. Because this momentum has built over longer than you realize. Do not shrink when the moment arrives. Stand tall and let yourself be fully seen without apology. Receive what is offered to you with open hands, not clenched fists, because you have earned this completely. The cards urge you to stop questioning whether you deserve this and start trusting that you absolutely do. Everything unfolding next is meant for you, designed for you, and timed precisely for this exact chapter. So, let us bring the message back one final time and connect it to every card that spoke. The message was this: I do not want to ruin the surprise, but a serious move approaches you. That message echoed powerfully through every single part of this reading, and the cards validated it without exception. Page of Cups opened with an unexpected emotional offering. Three of Wands confirmed deliberate foresight and planning. The Magician brought focused manifesting power. Seven of Cups mirrored the fog and fantasy inside your mind. The Empress reminded you of your magnetic worth, and Knight of Swords reflected the speed of your thoughts. Five of Swords exposed their internal war. Queen of Wands revealed the passionate fire beneath their composure. Two of Pentacles showed their balancing act. Ace of Wands ignited the trajectory of their decisive movement. Six of Wands carried victorious, conquering energy. The Hermit uncovered the solitary temple where they worship what they feel. King of Cups exposed their mastery, hiding a volcanic interior. The world now seals this with destined completion. And the Four of Wands crowns it all with celebration, stability, and the promise of a real beginning. Every card across every part spoke the same unbreakable truth. This connection is real, and it is arriving. So as we close this reading, I want you to carry this certainty with you wherever you go. You are not imagining this. You are not projecting. What you feel approaching you is authentic and undeniable. This person is ready. The timing is aligned, and the surprise they carry will rewrite your entire story. Let it in when it arrives, because you were never meant to stand on the outside of love. Thank you so much for being here today.